Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Friday, the 1st of November. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Got to try something in you. Feng Shui, that's what we're going with. We're moving it all about. See if we can find some sort of energy that works better than the last 3 weeks have. So we're starting November, and we're starting with intent in November. I will tell you, 8 horses of its star selection, 3 at Down Royal, 3 at Dundalk, and 2 at Del Mar. So only playing meetings that begin with a D, and none of them are in England. So Ireland or America. So we've got a couple of Breeders' Cup. There'll be more of it tomorrow, and then the rest of it 6 in Ireland. So if you don't like Irish racing or you're not interested in the Breeders' Cup, you might as well just turn off now. That's where it is. Right, what have we got then? So we're going to do the 3 bets. It's 3 bets. 8 horses. It's 2 Yankees and the best 3 in a Trixie. So £24 is the stake. So we, as I said, we're starting with intent. And before we do that, we need to do the review of Thursday. Then we'll get into Friday's bets, and then it is Thursday night ramble night. It's also first Thursday from in the new month, technically speaking. So I'll be doing the stats breakdown. So that's what we said I was going to do. The Thursday at the start of each month, it is this one. So we'll do a rundown of the stats. As some of you might imagine, they're pretty grim reading. But what you will get on this channel is it's all up front and honest, and I'll tell you what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly. There's a lot of ugly, but what you won't see me is hold up a piece of paper with my best 33 days and go, look at that, that's what I've done in 33 days. I'm just not going to remind you that the 7 days after that I tanked. I'll be honest, I'll tell you all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, because transparency is key. Otherwise, I think you might think I was a crook, and I wouldn't want you to think that. So, because I'm not, and I'm not selling anything, so it don't matter, does it? But we're here. We're here for bants. We're here for fun, and historically winning betting tips, but not in the last 3 weeks, or indeed the calendar year. If you want to do that, if you actually want to go the full annual year, we're all right. But we'll get to that stats later. So, the review. We had 1 horse place, and 3 did not, and 1 didn't run. So, not good enough. Not good. I mean, not good enough. The Skeleton horse drifted in the day, went offshore, and won very, very, very easily. Devon Skies ran a really nice race. That was placed. Got a couple of quid back for that. We rolled it on to bet 2. No good at Chelmsford, and then Southwell. The horse reared at the start. Cam Hardy fell off. Game over. So at least it happened before the race started, so we got a refund on there and a place with a non-runner. So 15.50 on. I think it was 6.75 back, 8.75 down. So that is where we were. So we finished finished the month. Well, no, I'll get to stats later. Right, I'll get to stats. I'll crack on with the Friday bets, and then those who like a ramble and all the stats, you can stay. That's what we'll do. All right. So 8 horses, as I said. Just looking at it now. No, I have not written on the star system again, have I? Have I? Been so much prep for tonight's video. But can I put a star system together on a piece of paper? Apparently, no, I can't. Right, hang on. Bear with me, folks. Talk amongst yourselves. Admire the very large plant sticking out of my head. Whatever it is you need to do. Let me just double check I got this down right. Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah, so that's that. I feel like I need some like lift music on or something like that now for these sort of moments. It's like a weekly. I wish it was weekly. It's daily at the moment, isn't it? Just not putting on the star system. I mean, this is the best piece of video content you've probably ever seen. I'm earning 27p whilst you watch me write some stuff that you can't see at the moment. It's brilliant, isn't it? Right, there we go. Can you tell I'm a bit knocked off? Is it showing? Right, anyway, let's get back to the horses. Right, here we go. So, bet 1. 3 at Down Royal and 1 at Del Mar. So the way I've split the races, I've done the 3 at Down Royal with a Del Mar. They're all on turf. And then we've got synthetic surface Yankee, which is 3 at Dundalk and 1 at Del Mar, because Del Mar's a mixed meeting. We'll come on to that. And then the best 3 together. So, bet 1, Down Royal, John the Spark. You've got a Mullins Townend combo. You've got a couple of Elliott horses. They're taking up the market. Some of them haven't gone over hurdles, but the bumper form's pretty decent stuff. They look like comfortably the best 3. But, that being said, if any of them don't perform, that's the horse that will come and snag, is my belief. So John the Spark, I think it's looking progressive. I think it will benefit from step up in distance. And some of the others I'm not 100% sure will like the distance. So that's where we're going with that one. Very, very, very unlikely likely winner. So I think 16 to 1 for the win part of it actually is average, but from a place point of view, it's a really good bet, is what I'm looking at. So John the Spark, 16 to 1. Then we go the next race. That's to early start, 12:25 Down Royal, 1 o'clock Down Royal, Monstorm, 13-year-old. It's ran twice in the last 2 years. That's a good start, isn't it? But last time I think it ran with a lot more promise. Danny Mullins has been booked. He's in good form. He's been booked to ride the horse. And it's a very, very small stable. Stable own the horse. And this best form historically has been Down Royal on good ground. And particularly over 3 miles. So it's got prime conditions. And I think there was a bit of promise in what it did last time, considering it's kind of coming back from 2 years off and it's 13 years old. I think 33 to 1 is a really good price. I'm not sure that it's going to go much shorter. It's not one I see going in. And to be fair, that one I would see both potential drifters, those two, to be fair. But yeah, Monstorm, 3-star bet, 33 to 1. 350 Down Royal, we're going in a bumper, Quint Major. I think it's got the best form in the race. And it's already won a bumper. It isn't a big yard, and therefore that'll be pushing up the market down. Sorry, making the price bigger, speak English. But yeah, I think there's a lot to like about that horse. So Quint Major's 2 stars. And then we've got one of the Del Mar. This is the latest one. I've got 11:05. So that's in the evening. It's not on ITV. ITV have got a couple of races on Saturday, but not Friday night. Friday night at Del Mar, Breeders' Cup is all the 2-year-old stuff. So you have basically it's juveniles on the Friday night, and then it's the older horses on the Saturday night. Breeders' Cup, if you're not familiar, biggest meeting in America each year. It rotates around courses, so it's a bit like like a golf event or something. It goes around different courses. So it's been at Del Mar a few times, but I can't remember. It was about 4 years ago. Maybe it was last there. So with these juvenile ones, some of these horses are American and run at Del Mar. Some of them haven't. It's trying to pick your opportunities, but of everything at Del Mar on Friday night, that's my number 1 horse. I've got another one on the other bet that is okay, but that's the one I think is the decent each way bet for Del Mar for Friday night. Vixen, 2 stars, 33 to 1. So it's 25p each way Yankee, 75p each way singles on John the Spark, Quint Major and Vixen, and we're going to pound each way single on Monstorm, 3 stars, £12 bet. Interestingly, Sky are not one of the best bookies for this bet. 365, Paddy, Betway, Betfair, Unibet are the best 5 bookies. Standard terms, and 5. It's because of this race, this Del Mar race. Not every bookie is going for, but the 5 listed there are. So I'm saying to you, Sky Bet is not where you want to be for this bet. 365, Paddy, Betway, Betfair, Unibet. That's that. And then bet 2, I'll spin through this because this is literally the extra Trixie. 1 o'clock Down Royal, Monstorm, 33 to 1 we talked about. We'll come to the other 2 Dundalk ones on the other bet, but 7 o'clock Dundalk, free solo, 3-star again, 25 to 1. 7:30 Dundalk, Hail Bop, another 3-star, 15 to 2. 25p each way Trixie, £2 is your bet. That is bet 2. Remember, it's entirely up to you what you want to do with these. This is the channel stake. This is how I've done it. Okay, then finally bet 3. 7 o'clock Dundalk. There's a few interesting angles in that race, and there's quite a lot of variance in the pricing of the race, and 365 I think have marked up the race much more fairly in the terms of there's a lot of other bookies who are being incredibly tight the night before with the prices. There's a few of the Dundalk handicaps like that. When you in a race like that and you've got like 7 horses single figures, it's pretty ridiculous. So a lot of them will drift the next day. Free Solo, I'm not sure that will drift. We backed it, I can't remember 2 times or 3 times ago. It's come out as 3 stars. Basically, this time last year it was running well, both at 7 furlongs and a mile. It's not started off this winter in the same form. I think last time it ran with a lot more promise from when it swung into the straight. It wasn't in a great position. It kind of came up the rail, which is not really a great place to be. At Dundalk, some nights it works, but not when you're coming from behind. So if you kind of can come round the bend and you get onto the rail with a lead, sometimes that can help, but not coming from the back. The horse generally, when it's run well last winter, it was run a lot more prominently than it's been run this time. So we'll see. Nathan Cross has taken over on the riding gig for it, and yeah, it's going back up to a mile. It's been over 7 furlongs the last 2 times. I think it's better at a mile. So I'm hoping we can get a performance out of that at 25s to start the bet off. Then the 7:30 Dundalk Hail Bop, that's got brilliant course and distance form. In a race where there's not a lot else that I like the look of, to be honest, and it stood out quite a lot. So I'd have that a lot shorter than even 15-2. I think you can get 10s if you're quick on 365, but Hail Bop 3 stars. 8 o'clock Dundalk Deed Pole. There was a few other races I was looking at Dundalk. That was sort of like my 3rd best choice one, really, at 12-1. It's got bits and bobs of form in there, but it's not strong. But it did come out as a 1 star. And then finishing off the last horse at Del Mar, the 10:25 at Del Mar, Quickick. It's on a dirt race, so this Dundalk or weather, that's on the dirt in America. Less keen on the dirt, but it did pop out as a 1 star bet. Yeah, I think did it chase home the favourite? I think the last time out it chased home the favourite in the race. And yeah, there's a very big disparity in the prices between them. So I think 12-1 each way is a decent enough bet. So 25p each way Yankee, £1 each way single on Free Solo, £1 win single. I've used the Octagon for that one. I think it's Octagon. Deed Pole, £1 win single, and a 75p each way single on Quickick. £10 is your bet. Sky come out better because of that Del Mar race. So they are 4, no one else is. So for the channel, 4, 4, 4 and 3, but you can get the full 4 places with Sky. Alright, that is what I've got for you. So that's those. We'll do Tips the League next, and then we'll get into all the stats. So Tips the League, last week we only had 61 entries, a little bit less than the previous 2 weeks. 15 profitable people, 1 broke even, 45 losses. There was quite a lot of errors, so please can you make sure that you're checking you've got the right race. Last week was a bit complicated. It will be similar this week because there is racing on ITV across 4 meetings, because it's there's 3 at the Breeders' Cup. We'll include those as playable races. There's 1 race at Down Royal, there's Wetherby, and wherever else the racing is that I can't remember, that's quite an important meeting. Anyway, it'll be on the Tips League for Saturday. 12 races, so you've got lots to choose from. But there was quite a few mistakes. People putting in races that weren't valid, or staking bits and bobs. It was a funny old one. But here's your name in Sharpies. Well done, Zach Devereaux. Boom, straight in there, 110. I think he had 10 on the nose on a 10-1 winner, so you can't complain with that. No, 11-1 it was. Then Anthony Nailon, £66 was second. Anthony, we did, in the end, Steve and I talked about it, and we did pay about 5 each way. So I know I said I think it was going to be 5 win, but we took benefit of the doubt, 5 each way. So Anthony was second at £66. Matthew Ibsthorpe, 50, and then you can go see down in there a few people making it into the top 10, I think, for the first time. So what does that mean for October? And since the Tips of the League has been back, well, that is your October final 3. So Ali Akbar and Stephen Taylor both lost £10 on Saturday. It didn't matter. Ali, well done to you. £111.50. You won by £1.50. You can take that glory. I haven't got a certificate. I'm not sending it to your house. Nothing like that. It's just pride. Well done. Stevie Taylor, 110 second, and Zach Devereaux's excellent performance last week bounded him into third place overall. In the whole year league table, not much changed, is fair to say. So from now on, we'll be keeping the whole league table. I'll be referencing Since I've Come Back table, and then we're into the November table. It all goes off there. Right. Okay, stats rundown. October. How was October on the channel? It was shite. It was statistically, from a profit and loss point of view, the third worst month in channel history. If you take out the sort of bits where I've done odd days and stuff while I've been on a break. If you take the 28 months where I've pretty much done stuff for the majority of the month, of those 28, it was the third worst month, second worst month of the year, but third worst month overall. Not good. 343 on, 343.50 on, 195.79 back. A loss of £147.71p, minus 43%. That is not a lot of fun, is it? And that's why it's because the first couple of weeks in October we actually were sort of about level, and then it's been the last 3 weeks absolutely tanked, and I've felt it personally really hard, because it's like everything stopped, to be honest. So I'll talk about percentage strike rate, but winners have been incredibly hard to come by. But even placed horses, the strike rate has been so abysmal the last 3 weeks. Honesty, transparency, folks. That's what the channel's about. So yeah, do you want to put 24 quid on that other stuff I've just mentioned? It's up to you. Excuse me while I swig my Vimto cordial. It's what you drink at night in my house. Wacky stuff. So what was I saying? Yeah. So it's been dire, basically, absolutely dire. So just a few bits I was going to run through. I've just got a few notes on here because I can't remember all this in my head because it's too much data. So I've got it down as if you break down. So since the channel's been back, so since the break, we are now minus £7.20. So almost break even, but we've fallen into deficit after today's 8.75 loss. So that is not where I want to be, particularly when we were 140 up at the end of September, and now I'm at the end of October, and I'm now on a loss of £7.20, which then adds to, if you want to go for the calendar year, it adds to that. We are minus 445, which is so bad. If you then go a full 12 month cycle, so if you included December and November from 2023, so in the last 12 months, channel's up £180. So it's all about where you cut and slice it. What I'll give you the good version and the bad version, and the in-between version. I'm not just going to give you what I think is the best version, because it helps, because I ain't selling anything. So yeah, that's where we're at. So what was I going to say? Multiples. So multiples, we are slightly in profit in multiples. If you break it down between money we put on multiples, singles and forecasts, multiples we are 221.50 on, 255.28 back. So we're £34 up on multiples. Singles 210.50 on, 177.33 back. We are 33 down. And then we're down about £5 on forecasts. There's a few pence involved there. So roughly speaking, so we're slightly ahead on multiples, we're slightly behind on singles, and we've done a very minimal amount of forecasts, and we got £1 refund back on some of it. So that's broadly where we are on the breakdown. I would expect multiples to be ahead of singles. That's kind of where that's where I project. That's where my own stats are personally. But the actual percentages are way off. So the fact we're losing on singles is really bad. So that's not where I want to be. Other stuff. So we haven't had a 5-star horse since I've been back. But the star system has not been great in terms of stats wise yet. So we need more data for some of the bigger ones, but yeah, 7 4-star horses. We've only had one placed at 20s out of that. We've had 7 3-star horses, and we had one placed at 100 to 1. And then when you go into the 2 stars, actually the 1 stars and 2 stars, 1 star slightly outperformed 2 stars, but we have only had four 1-star winning bets, 2 2-star winning bets. But basically, if you add it all up and we just bet win singles, we would be behind, and that's not where I'd like to be either. And in no particular order, I'm just running this down in terms of some of the notes I've got here. I've put 16 horses out that weren't on the star system. So since I've been back, 16 that weren't on the star system. 1 winner was that French handicap horse at 14 to 1. 15 losers. So what you will notice going forward is when I've gone back the other day and I mentioned about doing my stats, I'm going to be absolute minimal on the no stars going forward, because the data before I came back on the channel said the same thing. I was trying a few things out, still in the same place. That basically the ones I've put in that didn't hit a star system, the strike rate's appalling, even worse than the others. So that's not good. But yeah, then if you actually look at breakdown of bets, what's propped us up is a couple of good days of hitting some place Yankees and stuff like that. But the forecast, we've had 3 forecasts. And they've been no good. So I've got here, we had a 3rd and a 4th, a 1st and a 4th, and a 2nd and a 5th. And we did a tricast. Yeah, according to this, we did a tricast as well. Yes, we did a tricast. And that was a winner, a 5th, and a non-runner. We've done 4 combination doubles since they've been back. They've been particularly bad too. Just like a list of bad bets, isn't it? We've done, 4 combination doubles. And I mean, what's so extraordinary about that is so way below any sort of stat and expectation I have. In total, I'm just looking at this, 20, I mean, it can't be right, is it? 12, 20, 23 horses, 2 placed in the combination doubles. That's embarrassing. Okay, so let's give you some good news. Good news, right. So if you actually listed all of the horses I put up from the star system and what price they were when I put them out, there's some interesting anomalies in this data. So if all you did was back the horses at 50 to 1 or more, there have been 14 since I've been back at 50 to 1 or more, and if you back them all each way, you would have almost doubled your money, because we've had 3 placed at 14. That's 150 to 1, 166 to 1, and 100 to 1. So if you backed everything, that's all you've done, backed everything I said above 50 to 1, you'd have been all right. If you then we've got this sort of next bracket of prices, 40 to 1, 33 to 1, 28 to 1, 25 to 1. Those have been so bad. That's where we've really taken a bit of a hit. So the actual extreme odds have been outperforming. It's then the sort of the bigger odds are the ones where we've not done so well. And then you get into the sort of, for me, smaller odds, but others bigger odds. And then you scroll down and actually you go 18 to 1 if you back them each way, we'd be in profit. 20 to 1 you'd be in profit. 18 to 1 you'd be in profit. 16 to 1 you'd be in profit. 14s has been a poor price point. 12 to 1 you'd be in profit. 11 to 1 would just be behind, and 10 to 1 you'd be in profit. And then I put out 5-star horses less than 10 to 1, and we've had 1 place out of 5. So the really low ones and the high ones are where we've had bad situations. The extreme odds and the odds in the teens, if you like, are where we've actually done better. So yeah, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily. I'm just looking back what we've got for today. We've got a couple of 33s and an 11. Yeah, so yeah, by rights we've got 4 in the nice bracket there. 3 that are too high but without being too extreme, and 1 too low. Whether that'll mean anything, we'll find out. But just really, I thought it was really interesting to share those stats. That yeah, there's certain price points that we've done actually well, and there's certain ones where we've tanked, and overall it's not but in a good place. Course information. So courses, where have we taken the hit on the courses? I think most people probably realise Kempton and Southwell and Ascot, actually, if you chuck that in there too. But Kempton, which is usually one of my best tracks, one placed, that was on Wednesday night at 66 to 1, one place out of 19 selections is awful. 1 out of 9 at Southwell, 1 out of 9 at Ascot. Then there's small, but that, and also they're the 3 tracks we've put the most selections down. So that's really hurt, I think, in the last few weeks, the performance of those tracks. There's others you look at, you know, not small amounts, but Ayr, 2 horses, 2 places. Chelmsford still alright, 3 horses, 1 win, 1 place. Newbury, 3 horses, 2 places. Newbury, 3 horses, 2 winners. Newmarket, 5 horses, 3 places. Nottingham, flat. Yeah, Newcastle jumps. Hamilton, Sedgefield, they're all one horse, 1 place. So there's a few interesting ones in there. You go to Ireland, Belliostown, 1 horse, 1 winner. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, and then we haven't actually had that much back in Ireland. Longchamp with 7 horses, 3 places, which is not so bad. So that's interesting. Then I can give you stats on types of races. So I keep all of this stuff as well since I've been back. Again, this is just star horses. It doesn't include the horses that were non-starred. And yeah, the all-weather is where it's just gone completely off the rails. It's so far below that. So I don't know what it is with the all-weather. I don't believe it's the selections in terms of, as in clearly they're not doing anything. But I don't know if something is going awry with the all-weather particularly. Someone put in the comments of the previous video about the track times at Kempton are running fast so far this season, and whether or not that means they haven't furrowed the ground properly. I'm not entirely sure, but what I know is that usually Kempton and Southwell do me great favours, and at the moment they're causing me a massive headache. So yeah, fortunately we haven't got either of those involved with Friday selections. We've got Down Royal and we've got Del Mar, and we haven't had any selections from either of those tracks yet. Dundalk, we're 2 places out of 9. There we go. So what do we know about the types of races? So UK flat, we started off really well, and then it's tapered off. So 22 horses, 1 winner, 8 places, 13 losers. That's a little bit behind. No, that is actually no. It's still all right. Actually, no, we'll get my maths right. That's about 40% strike rate. So that's actually still holding up. The all weather is bad. 39 horses, 1 win, 5 places, 33 losses. And then there's a few others like smaller bits. We've got Irish flat turf. So Irish flat turf handicaps, be specific. Irish flat turf handicaps. The first 2 horses I put out won. The next 13 have lost. Strange stat. So Dundalk handicaps. So we've Dundalk handicaps is 2 places out of 8, I think, according to that, because we've had some other non-handicap horses there. Then when you get into the graded stuff, UK listed group races, this is flat, 6 horses, a winner, a place, and 4 dots. That holds up nicely, but small sample size. French flat listed group races, 7 horses, 3 places, which is all right. Then you get the novice and maiden stuff. The strike rate isn't. I don't normally have the same strike rate as I would do on a handicap situation, but with the novice and maiden and bumpers, we're usually playing with a bigger price point. So therefore, you don't need the 30% being the sort of target strike rate. Don't need that on those, because it can be in the 20s and get away with it. So actually, I think if you combine it together, 15 horses in a novice or a maiden, and we've had a winner and 3 places out of that, but that's enough for profit because of the prices. Bumpers, we are 1 UK bumper, 1 place, and 3 Irish, and nothing back on that. So that is a bunch of stats for you. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions or queries about stats and stuff, feel free to shove it in the comments, and I'll do my best to give you an answer on some things. But But yeah, I guess what's my musing on all of that? I found the last 3 weeks really, really hard. And when it's going so bad, it really takes the joy out of making a video. Because yeah, you just don't want people following in on things that aren't going well. So I'm gonna give it the beans this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All good days racing. Let's see where we're up to. And if it tanks all the days and I'm not seeing enough green shoots, I might just literally take a breath and stop doing videos until I'm in a place where I'm like it's looking better, because I don't want to keep putting out horses. I mean, over the weekend it's fine, but next week if we're back into sort of predominantly all weather UK stuff, until I've seen something that makes me go it's looking better again, I don't want to because I don't know what the problem is basically, because I could literally blindfold myself and throw darts like some people believe I do anyway, and I should be able to get a better return on the all-weather. So something. I mean, it's interesting. I was debating saying this or not, because I don't know if it's helpful or not, but because it sends off conspiracy theorist people. I can absolutely tell you, in the months this year when I've not made videos, I have done better than the months I have made videos. And whether or not that's coincidental, I don't know. It might just be that October is a blip and we have a nice November and December. That would be great. But with the all-weather stuff, I can't fathom it, because I'm looking at horses. So there's horses I looked at this week, and I thought they could be worth a bet, but I'm going to leave it. But they're overpriced, and sure enough, backed in like some of the things you see, and still running badly. So it's not just specifically the horses I am backing, but the horses that I could back are also not necessarily there. There's definitely been a few in October of kind of ones that got away, but not enough to ultimately have changed anything on the channel. I mean, and you look at and the cynics look at a day like Thursday, and I think you had three races in a row, different meetings, all 25-1 winners. One was a bumper horse making his debut. Two were horses making handicap debuts. 3 horses in total making handicap debut that won at decent prizes on Thursday. So run donkey races in their maiden and novice, and then suddenly come in. There was 2 25s and a 28s. I've gone back and looked, and it's like you can pick bits and stuff like that, but if you backed all the horses in that situation, you'd lose more money than you would in October on this channel. So it's hard to come by when you start seeing things like that, and you're like, well, how are you going to pick out that when there's 10 a penny those horses? But it's amazing how many of them pop up at a nice enough price. So definitely some strange activity is what I would say in the betting market. And I mentioned that the other day. But if you get perspective, right, and this is really, really important, we're talking about 3 weeks where it's gone really bad. That isn't 3 months. Now, I know I had issues before I left the channel and went on a break. And that's because I really couldn't get a handle on the jumps racing. This isn't the same. This is I'm picking horses that I'm quite happy and confident with, that are just massively underperforming really, really consistently. With the jumps, I just think, yeah, the radar was a bit off, and I think the markets predominantly had it right, and I think that's a completely different thing, and that's why I've sort of tightened up what I'm doing with the jumps. So, yeah, we're into November. We've got the feng shui with all the different situation, and clearly if we do all right on Friday, I'm going to have to sit with this plant in my head the whole time, aren't I? I've changed the notepad. I've looked at changing the pens. Now, I've done it all. I've done all the feng shui stuff. So we will see. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to give it the weekend. And if I'm not seeing the shoots of anything, then I think I might just stop for a little bit until I feel like it's in a better place. It's always the worry. You think, well, the day I stop is the day suddenly I hit some zinger bet because it's all been saved up statistically. Absolutely, I would usually say that. But there's something so dramatically not right with what I'm doing on the all-weather, and I can't fathom it, because for years and years and years, the all-weather this time of year up until the end of December is my little sweet spot. And before I've done the channel, when I've done the channel, but not quite yet. Sometimes it's just a bit of a slow burn, and it kick in some point in November. Obviously, I'm not making any guarantees, but clearly, I don't want to be. I don't want to be on a. I don't want to end the year on a loss. So we've got 2 months to try and find us some crackerjack days to turn around the whatever minus 445 I'm on. Because I'll be doomed if I can't turn it around. What's the point of carrying on doing videos? I can carry on making content, but I wouldn't want to put the tips out to people because. The evidence isn't there. Long term, it's there. And as I said, if you actually go 12 months, round 12 months, it's profitable. If you look this calendar year, including the break, it's not. If you go from when I've been back, we're basically break even / minus £7.20, but some of you will be ahead about a pence. All right, I think that's it. I think you've got a decent ramble out of that. So I'll be back for Saturday. With the Tipster League, I don't know at this point whether it might be Friday night or it might be Saturday morning. I'll let you know. One thing I was going to say about Tipster League, yes, popped in my head, and I'll remind everyone in the next video too. I'm going to pull forward the start time, so it's always been 2 o'clock. I'm going to make it 1:30 because we're into clock change time now, and we're consistently getting races that are starting a bit earlier. So in the summer tends to be 1:50 is the first race, sometimes 1:30. We had it really early last week, and yeah, it's easier to manage and keep a hold of the entries and stuff to not make sure that people aren't doing a bit of after timing. So far in the history of doing the Tips League, I've not seen after timing. There was potentially an instant this weekend that wasn't really in the spirit, I don't think, which seemed to be somebody entered in an early race, the horse didn't run very well, they deleted the entry and re-entered. I think that might have happened. If that was you, not really in the spirit, is it? So, anywho, 1:30, that's going to be the cut-off point. So I know that not everyone will hear this message and not everyone will get it, and there'll be a few that fall foul. But that's what it is. It's 1:30 cut-off. That is it. No, not 1:31. 1:30 will be cut-off time for the Tips League. All right. I'm going to finish there. Sort of become David Attenborough in the corner. So, what's that? David. Yeah. Just a bit of David Attenborough. David Bellamy. Yeah, it was David. Was it David Bellamy? I think it's David Bellamy. He was another one who likes to climb in bushes. I don't mean any disservice to David Bellamy's family. I meant that purely in a kind of horticultural, agricultural kind of a way. All right, that's me. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Hopefully we're cheering. Bye-bye.